So, Bobby, this is their first game of the season. It was a real battled performance, a lot of chances on either side, but we were just defeated very closely 1-0. But what's your opinion of the game as a whole?
My opinion, and it's going to sound really bizarre, there's only one team in that game. Our keepers made one save. In the whole 95 minutes of that match, our keepers made one save. We've had 8 chances, 4 of them from in the 6-yard box, and we haven't took them. And their manager come up at the end and said, wow, how have you lost that? So I cannot criticise or be disappointed with how the lads have performed there. They were absolutely outstanding. To come here and dominate a game with the ball, without the ball, I honestly can't remember them actually having a shot against Matteo. So, but we've lost 1-0, and the 1-0 has come from 2 minutes before half time. Us not committing a foul in their half. Stop the play, get your bodies back. They've countered us, and you know they've got a top striker in Blackhead who's a very, very good player, and he's managed to square the ball. But overall, I can't be disappointed with that, because if we continue to play and operate at that level, we'll win well more games than we'll lose.
Yeah, it seemed like there was almost like a force field on the line of the goal, and it was just magnetised. It wouldn't go in, and we had plenty of opportunities, but like you just said, it was the counter that hurt us in the end, and it was obviously the worst time for a goal in the first half, and it must have just changed your team talk. Or did it?
No, it didn't change the team talk because of how well the lads played. You know, Ash Hunter on another day comes off with 2 goals. You know, Finn gets a goal, Newley scores 2. You know, AJ out wide, he scores. So I can't criticise. What I can criticise is the fine details of the getting in great areas in the pitch, but the hardest part, putting it in the net. So we'll work on that. But overall, as a collective unit, I can't ask for no more than what them lads have given me. The work rate was there. Some of the football was unbelievable, and you know they couldn't get out. But you know they've hit us on one counter. They've had a couple of counters last 5 minutes when we've threw bodies forward to try and get in the game. But as I say, we'll get back to the drawing board, and we'll if we can build on that performance and add the goals, then you know we won't be far off.
It might be strange for like a fan in Crosby to hear you talking like this, but we were both there, and you are correct. Like it felt like we should have won that game in the second half. Do you felt like it was any better for Marine? It was just equally they just carried on for the whole 90, doing exactly what you wanted them to do.
Yeah, I think you know there was a short period when we lost our intensity a tiny bit, but other than that, for 95 minutes, there's only been one team in that game. Yeah, they're gonna have long balls, but as I say, my keepers, we've come away to South Shields full-time outfit, and we've absolutely played them off the park, in my opinion. And my keeper hasn't made a save, but we've lost 1-0. So, you know, we have to be ruthless. We've had balls flashing across the box and nobody's in there to score. They've had one cross across the box and they've scored from it. So, you know, we missed 2 identical chances, one in the first half and one with Newley. But if they continue to perform and operate at that level, then we'll win games of football for sure.
And you've got a whole week now to prepare for the Buxton home game, and as far as I know, the front three hadn't played as a unit before today. How would you sort of sum up, even though they didn't get a goal, how would you sum up their performance, considering they'd never met each other as a threesome?
Yeah, of course. We've got new bodies, and you know, to do what they done and operate at the level they operated at, you know, the goal's the only thing they're missing between Newley, Ash, you know, AJ, Finn, Matty, Mark, Harvey, Mars. We've got players with serious quality, and you know, am I concerned about that? Absolutely not, because the ball will go in the net, 100% it will. But you know, my biggest concern out of the whole day is Newley's got a sore back. So, but we'll assess the situation, and you know, we'll get on the bus. You know, we're delighted with the performance, but we're disappointed that we lost the game.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bobby, and we'll see you next week.
No problem at all. Thank